feminism, the search for equality, treated unfairly. For what I got above my knees, I'm looking sexy as. Hello guys, thank you for tuning back in. I know it's been a long time. That song in the introduction, that's actually my song. It's called Femme. It's by me, and it's inspired by all the feminists and Me Too movements that are going on right now. So it's really relevant right now. Remember, feminism is equality of the genders. So the last video I posted was in 2016, so I know it's been 2 years now. And you're probably wondering, like, what the heck happened to her? And so I'm sorry. I can't apologize enough for not giving you guys an update. A lot has happened, but I'll just be really brief and let you know. So basically, I moved to LA. I'm originally from New York, moved to Arizona for school, and then in that time period of the 2 years, I was already in Orange County with work, and they switched my position to LA, so I moved to LA. So that took up a lot of time. It wasn't that big of a move, but it was a move nonetheless. And then unpacking things, blah, blah, blah. My MacBook got stolen. I still get mad. But anyways, yeah, my MacBook got stolen. I'm not going to dwell on that evilness. But yeah, my MacBook got stolen, and it had all my passwords, all my pictures. It had like all my journals there. So I had to like start from scratch. So that's another reason why I couldn't sign on and do the videos. I didn't have any passwords or anything. Everything was on my MacBook for the most part. So let's see what else happened in the 2 years that I've been gone. Oh, well, in August of 2017, my father passed away, and that was a very hard time for me because me and him are very close. I was basically like a daddy's girl, so that was very hard for me to get through that. Let me see what else happened. And yeah, so meanwhile, me getting through that, I got sick again. So that's kind of what happened in the last 2 years. Skipping over all the unimportant things. Actually, there's still some other things in there that I could say, but that's the main things. So again, can't apologize enough, but let's get right into it because I'm sure that you guys are curious to know what the hell happened after this grape fast. So let's start with, I did grapes. I juiced the grapes and I ate them whole with seeds. I tried to get organic. That's what I did. So I didn't do any herbs for the first 2 months. So I'm gonna give you the review with just me doing just the grapes. So I started grapes right after I saw Dr. Moore's video. I started it that very next day. I went from eating meat to not eating any meat, only eating grapes. So as you can imagine, that shock to my body, I felt it a little bit. The first 3 days of my grape fast was very hard. I was craving a lot of different things. But when I am determined to do something, My willpower overpowers all of those cravings. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I need to get to the bottom of why I'm feeling like this, why I have, all these problems with my health. So I was determined. So no cravings could deter me from, doing this. And if you do have a craving and you indulge in that, just get back to what you usually do. And I have a story about, the cravings later on in the video. So basically, for the first 2 weeks, I noticed dramatic changes. Um, the first thing, my energy. I had so much energy. So previously, I could not do I could not do even 10 push-ups. I would collapse on the 10th push-up, and even 9 push-ups, it would be a struggle for me, and that was very hard for me to uh, not admit, but for me to. I was kind of in denial because I've always been like an athlete all my life. So with like lupus flaring and different things like that, it caused me to not be able to do what I used to do. I used to lift girls and do flips and stuff like that. So I was really embarrassed by that. So 2 weeks after 2 weeks into the Grape diet, I could do 25 push-ups without struggling. And I could have did more, but I just didn't feel like it. But so literally, let me just put it plainly. I wasn't doing the Grape diet. I could only do 9 to 10 push-ups. I started eating only grapes. I could do 25 plus push-ups. That's crazy. So that I would definitely recommend this to athletes, because obviously maybe it's something with the recovery time, and maybe a lot of oxygen is getting to my cells where I'm not as tired, and maybe I have more energy to do it, and my muscles aren't as tired, basically. So I mean, that's just a reality. I wasn't eating grapes, 9 to 10, struggling to do that. Eating grapes, 25 plus. I don't know, seems like a miracle to me, but whatever. Say what you want. My sense of smell became heightened. So I could smell everything. And obviously, if you can smell everything and things don't smell that great, it's not that good. But no, it was good. I remember my roommate was cooking like chicken, and that smell, I could smell when she first started cooking it, and that smell just made me want to gag. The smell of like raw chicken boiling was just, it made me literally want to throw up. I could also smell chemicals. I could smell if something was not pure. For example, like air freshener. I could tell if the air freshener or if the perfume you were wearing was not natural. It would make my head hurt. If you were wearing too many like chemicals, if it was too many chemicals in the perfume or air freshener, I would feel something. It would make my head hurt, basically. So I was very sensitive. I was also sensitive on like a spiritual level. I began to get more calm and clear-minded. It wasn't this sense of like, it wasn't this like cloud. It wasn't this like cloud in my head. I was very clear-minded. I could think, and I could express myself way clearer than I can even now. Hence, I'm not doing the diet. So that was the sense of smell heightening. Another thing that I'm a little embarrassed to talk about, but I had a lot of pain in my stomach during intercourse. So yeah, it was really painful. And so when I got it checked out, I had a fibroid. And so I started the Grape diet, not looking to cure that at all. But 2 weeks in to the Grape diet, I passed that fibroid. And it was the size, it was in between the size of a golf ball and a tennis ball. So it was pretty big. And it was very swift when it came out. It was during my menstrual, and it came out like whew, it just like whew, it kind of took air out of me when it happened. But I was relieved that it was gone. I was very relieved that it was gone, and after that, I had no more pain. So I was really happy. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like a miracle. Like all I had to do was eat grapes, and this is happening. Another thing, great, I started filtering even more. Prior to me doing the grapes, I was not filtering. I was filtering very little. I would see small white particles. When I started doing my grape fast, I saw so much was coming out. So it was a lot of lymph, in my pee. And how you can test it, you get a glass jar, pee in it, let it sit for a little while, and then all the sediment that's at the bottom, that basically lets you know whether your kidneys are filtering and how well they're filtering. So I was happy that they were filtering, and I could see my skin, the improvements in my skin. Prior to that, I was getting, my skin was like, it was different things. I was getting hive-like reactions. So my skin at sometimes was burning. At other times it was itching. It was red. It was inflamed. And so when I did the grape diet, by the week mark, I no longer got any hive-like reactions at all. It just disappeared. And my skin started to clear and get back to normal. And that was just in the first week that I started to see improvements in that. Another thing, my nails started to grow very fast, and I was happy about that. And let me see what else. I had no more joint pain, so that goes along with like the strength and energy part of it. But I had no more joint pain, so I was able to do things that I couldn't do before, and I could do it for longer periods of time. So walking a lot wouldn't tire me much, and I wouldn't get my muscles wouldn't hurt after, or my joints wouldn't hurt after walking a lot or doing a lot at work. So I was happy about that. So that was just within the first 2 weeks of me doing that's when I started to notice the things, and things just kept improving from there. So I started incorporating, actually, I started incorporating herbs after the 2 weeks. I incorporated Dr. Morris's herbal kit, and that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, actually helped me get through the detox. It made my detox a lot smoother. It wasn't, it was a better journey when I did it with the herbs. It helped me out. You can do it without the herbs, but it's gonna be really vigorous. You're gonna have a lot coming out, and you're not gonna have the help of the herbs. So I did the week 1 and 2. For me, the lymph formulas and the parasite G and M, they were too strong for me. They were making my skin become like inflamed again, maybe because the detox was too strong. So I had to decrease those by half and increase the kidney and bladder. After I did that, I noticed that, I was still filtered. Everything was still normal, and I wasn't having any skin reactions. So that was good. I guess I didn't talk about really the cravings because I was pretty much just focused when in the beginning with the grape diet. I did have cravings and things, but I was just focused on like trying to relieve myself of these symptoms. So it really wasn't too bad for me. Like once I put my mind to something, it's like a no-brainer. And I put my mind to it. I was like, no, I don't want to eat meat ever again. That's not necessarily what happened, but me being in that mindset, I just jumped straight into it. So after about a month, After about, I actually did grapes for a month, only grapes for like a month and a half. It When I was reaching the 2 month mark, that's when I started incorporating other fruits. Actually, even before I reached the 2 month mark, it was like one and a half. I started incorporating other fruits slowly. And eventually I got to just wanting to eat watermelon like all day. And if you know anything about this fruit fasting, you know that watermelon, although it has a lot of water, it's strong. It's strong. It causes a very vigorous detox. And Dr. Morris, he warned me of this, but I guess I didn't take heed until it actually happened to me. So that's when this started. When I started doing the watermelon, that's when I noticed, no, everything was still going good. But then, dun dun dun, I cheated. And it wasn't on a boy, it was on fruit. So I was actually finished with all my watermelon before lunchtime. So at lunch, I went to like a nearby Whole Foods, and decided to get more fruit. So this is why you always keep fruit with you. You always keep enough fruit with you. Put it in your work refrigerator, put it in a freeze bag, something. Keep it with you, because you will be tempted to eat things that are not fruit if you don't have the fruit with you. I used to take grapes with me in my car everywhere. They call me Grape Lady. Moving on. So I ran out of fruit. Oh, gosh, have to drive to Whole Foods. So I drive to Whole Foods to pick up fruit. I pass by this stand, and it's this guy there. It's a Jamaican, I guess it's Jamaican Day. So he is making this beef taco, homemade bread. It looks so good. And so I'm thinking, oh, I'll just taste a little bit. I'll cheat a little bit. And, it came with 3 tacos. So I'm like, oh, I'll just give my coworkers, the rest after I just taste it. I just want to taste it. So I get back to my job, and I open a box and I taste one, and I'm like, well, it's good, and I haven't had meat in a long time, and I'm like, oh, well, it's not doing much. So I take another bite, and eventually I eat all 3 beef tacos. And it feels like I did something wrong, but it still feels good. And so I'm like, well, nothing's happening. Then eventually, during the end of the workday, I'm feeling this huge knot in my throat. The size of, I can't really explain the size, but the size of a lime. The size of a lime, a little bit smaller than a lime. I felt it in my esophagus. I don't know what it was. So I'm like, I can't really swallow. So I go to the kitchen and I get a cup of like hot tea, thinking, that would help it go down or something. Not really, it's not really hot. It's like warm tea. And I start throwing up blood. Yes. I'm having flashbacks. That's why I'm quiet. Whenever I'm quiet, I'm having flashbacks, like I'm living in that moment again. But I start throwing up blood. I start throwing up profusely. Just, oh my gosh, it was like so bad. I can't even, I don't want to relive it. I don't want to relive that situation. And I didn't stop throwing up. I kept throwing up all the way home. Whew. That was just horrible. So basically, I shocked my body. I must have shocked my body, because I was going from eating fruit, basically all fruit, for 7 months, and then I went to eat meat. And then I went to eating meat, and that basically just messed up everything. Sorry, that's my roommate in the back. It's okay. I'm doing a video. But anyways, yeah, so that kind of like put my body into shock for the most part. Because I guess watermelon is like a astringent, so it'll pull out everything. So watermelon is no joke. I'm sure if I would have did that, if I would have cheated on grapes, I don't think I would have had that same reaction. So I just, that's why I'm scared to do all fruit again, because I know that I might be tempted to eat meat, and it was so bad that I don't even want to. I'm scared to do all fruit again, because it's this little berry. The watermelon is, it's actually really strong. It's stronger than all this meat. It's strong, and so that's kind of why I'm scared to do it again, because I know that eventually I will want to eat meat, and I will want to eat it again. So I'm scared to go all the way. I'm scared to go so deep with that. But maybe, obviously, if I do it like more gradual, but I'm sure that it won't be as bad. But I'm like really spontaneous, and if I want something, I need it. So yeah. But I'm also thinking maybe if I was taking the Parasite G and M, I wouldn't have had those cravings for that bread and for that meat. So that's something to think about too. I didn't say, so also when I was on fruits, I noticed that I had a creative spark that I didn't notice. Um, I really didn't notice it until I was doing this video, and I realized how much writing I have been doing over the years. After, the grape, after doing all fruit, it like it put like so many ideas in my head. I had so many ideas, and I was writing songs. I was doing a lot of creative writing, and I was just having fun with it. And so I think, and that song Femme is a product, I believe, of the Grape Fast, because I'm just more creative now. And like I said, my mind is more clear, and maybe it's more open to I guess, doing creative writing, and not just coming home from work, going to sleep, eating, waking up, going back to work. So it definitely gave me more energy to do more creative things. So my current diet, I do eat some junk food, but I'm starting to try to drink more water. I'm still eating fruit. I just made baked chicken breasts, and string beans. So that's my current diet. I have to be honest. That's what I'm eating right now. I did go to Florida because I went to see one of Dr. Morris's. I went to his health. I had an appointment with him. Not with him, but I saw one of his health counselors. He doesn't see anybody anymore. So, but he appoints like health counselors to deal with your situation. So this is proof, yeah. This is proof that I went. So this is my personalized herb kit for all the way till, what is it, week 10? I don't know. A long time. So going there, they also took a picture of my eyes. So don't be scared. This is my left and right eye. My left eye is actually lighter than my right eye. And that's just lymph congestion. So once I clear that up, once I clear all of that up, if you see the nerve ring right here, that's the actual color of my eyes. So they're actually really light brown. Like if you see my eyes now, they may look a little brown, but imagine if they were even lighter. That'd be cute. And so from my eyes, they could tell that I had obviously kidney and adrenal issues. Everyone does, especially me, because I took prednisone since I had lupus, like 15. So, and I took it for a while. They had me on it for a long time. So I knew that my adrenals were just messed up, and that controls the kidneys. So my GI tract has a lot of congestion. My lungs also a lot of congestion, and my ovaries. So that's the main things. And then the nerve rings represent stress. And to be honest, I do have nerve rings, but it's not that bad. And then the dark outer lining of my eye that represents the skin, you can see it's inflamed. And that is true. My skin is still not, it's better, but it's not like, it should be better. It should be even more clearer and not as thin. I have thin skin, tears easily. Let's see. So, let me see any other tips that I would like to give you guys. So before, I would definitely recommend the grape diet, but before you do it, do your own research. Understand that it's no joke. Like fruit, you can't play with it, especially watermelon. But you cannot play with fruit. You don't keep jumping back and forth. Like if you're gonna do it, do it. Obviously, if you cheat, try not to like go all the way deep into cheating like I did and shock your body, because you will pay. You will pay for it. And I don't want anyone to go through what I went through, because that was just horrible. I couldn't keep down anything until till this day. I still cannot swallow pills. I have to open the capsule, which is better because you shouldn't swallow that plastic or whatever it's made of. But even if I wanted to swallow it, I cannot swallow. Obviously juice and stuff I can swallow, but I cannot swallow any type of pills, any type of tablets, anything. So let that be, a lesson to you, so you don't have to go through that. Let me see. So yeah, just do your own research and try not to cheat too much. Obviously, if you cheat, try to go back into it. And you know what? Once I learned about the detox, I took off running. You don't have to be like me. You can take it slow. But I'm just probably really headstrong. So I just went full blast into it. So at one point I was eating meat. The next day I cut off everything but fruit. And then I was only eating fruit. And then I went to like the worst meat ever. Actually, no, pork is probably the worst meat ever. But I went to beef and cooked beef and bread. And it was really big tacos. It was really big. It was Jamaican. Basically, Jamaican patty / beef patty / taco. So they were really big. So I really cheated, and I really regret that because it took me back a little bit. I will be updating you guys because I am going to do the herbs. I'm going to start. She personalized this kit for me for the next like 6 weeks. So I want to give you guys an update as I do it. I'm not sure how often I'll be able to do the videos, but once I start this kit, I will be like posting up like another video so you guys can get a gist of what is going on. And let me see if I have any other thing to share with you guys. Just look at my notes. Okay. I think I already said this, but you can also use the herbs to like help the detox not be as vigorous. It definitely does help with that. And again, if you do this, you're gonna get a lot out. So don't be afraid, but do your research. So if you guys have any other questions, you can comment below and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in. Bye.